Russia signals it may give official recognition to the Taliban just 3 years after the fall of Kabul. Musicians and performers exiled by the regime now ruling Afghanistan will perform in what has become one of the biggest music festivals of its kind in the UK. And raging floodwaters continue to claim lives in Afghanistan. Another 16 people die, including 10 from a single family. It's emerged that Russia plans to remove the Taliban from the list of terrorist organisations drawn up by Moscow. Senior diplomat Zamir Kabulov, the special presidential envoy for Afghanistan, has said the delisting would enable Putin's government to decide whether to recognise Afghanistan's rulers who stormed back to power on August the 15th, 2021. The state-run news agency TASS quoted Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov saying that unless the Taliban were removed from the list, it would be too early to discuss recognition. Lavrov has described the Taliban as the real power in Afghanistan and that the removal reflected objective reality. Russia formally labelled the Taliban a terrorist organisation in 2003 when the radical group was waging a deadly insurgency against the United States and Allied troops in the country. The insurgents stormed back to power 3 years ago and established a men-only Taliban government as the US-led foreign troops withdrew from the country. No foreign country has formally recognised the Taliban as legitimate rulers, mainly due to human rights and terrorism-related concerns. However, several neighbouring and regional countries, including Russia, have retained their embassies in Afghanistan after the takeover and allowed the de facto government to run Afghan embassies on their respective soils. Moscow has looked to build ties with the Taliban since it regained power and has reportedly had informal contact with the movement. Russia has invited Taliban representatives to a number of international events, including the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, which is scheduled in early June. As the Taliban continues to outlaw music and culture in Afghanistan, some of the country's biggest acts will perform in West London this June. Under the Taliban's dictatorship, art, performance and music are banned. In defiance, the Afghanistan and Central Asian Association is bringing together popular Afghan performers forced to live in exile for a musical celebration. The festival to mark Refugee Week will be held at Cranford Community College in Hounslow on Sunday, June the 23rd. The award-winning singer-songwriter Hazal Eniat will headline. Born in Kabul, she rose to fame with her hit Del-e-Bakara, but was forced to flee her homeland, and she now lives in Canada. Other performers include the singers Hashmat Eshamand, Hamid Erfan, Timur Shaidai and the dance duo Anja Samin, who now live in exile. It will be hosted by the US journalist Nazira Karimi. It's almost 3 years since the Taliban's takeover, leading to 8 million people fleeing the country. This year's festival, which is themed Our Home, will be a triumphant celebration of creativity and resilience. Running for its 5th year, this annual ACA event now receives funding from Arts Council England. It's a unique chance to see popular Afghan performers and enjoy poetry by children and women's groups and sample food and crafts from across the globe. Politicians and local councillors will speak during the day, and there will be activities, of course, for children. With an estimated audience of 5,000 people, the family-friendly event is expected to be one of the largest cultural gatherings of Afghan people in the world. In Afghanistan, recent flooding has claimed yet more lives. 16 people, including women and children, have been killed by deadly torrents in Baghlan and Badakhshan provinces. Local officials say 500 houses have been completely or partially destroyed by raging floodwaters, which happened when heavy rain hit the parched landscape. According to local authorities, the floods have affected the districts of Doshi, Dandigori and the city of Bule Komri and the village of Morchak in central Badakhshan. Mohammed Kamgar, head of natural disaster management in Badakhshan, reported the deaths of 10 members of a single family. Meanwhile, delayed arrival of aid has come in for criticism, and emergency responders are calling for immediate assistance from the interim government and aid agencies. Over the past week, deadly and devastating floods in several provinces of the country have claimed the lives of more than 300 people, destroying hundreds of residential houses and ruining thousands of acres of agricultural land.